With one decently successful movie under her belt, Madonna decided it was time to take a leading role, and one where she wasn't basically just playing herself. Her first star vehicle was a film noirish action adventure set in 1930s China called Shanghai Surprise. The surprise was that it sucked. A lot.
Everybody comes to Hollywood. They're gonna make it in the neighborhood.
Shanghai Surprise was the Geely of 1986, a star vehicle for a ludicrously overexposed celebrity couple that the public rejected en masse. The couple in this case was Madonna and her then-husband Sean Penn, who was in the middle of the violent psychopath phase of his life, and it would earn Madonna the first of many, many Razzies. It is Exhibit A in the theory that no one actually wants to see real-life couples on screen. Ahem. Well, anyway, I'm not going to call it one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but yeah, it's a real turd. The very idea of casting Madonna as the lead in an action adventure seems outright ludicrous in hindsight, but of course we didn't know this at the time. The plot of the movie is one of those Maltese Falcon, everybody trying to find the MacGuffin dealies.
All you have to do is to make a few inquiries for us.
Yeah, why me?
Speak Chinese with such flair.
Madonna hires lovable rogue fortune seeker Sean Penn to help her find Faraday's Flowers, which is this big old shipment of smuggled opium that got misplaced when the Japs tried to invade a year earlier. Faraday, played by Belloc from Raiders, was trying to sneak it past the authorities in the chaos, but he got caught. Well, you see, there is nothing you possess which I cannot take away. How do you like it, jerk? Faraday gets gunned down trying to make his escape, but not before this happened when they try to search his belt.
Run, for hell!
This, we find out later, is the Shanghai Surprise of the title. It's not a major plot point, so it's kind of stupid to name the movie after it, but apparently these babies are selling like hotcakes.
Very hot item. Joko call it Shanghai Surprise.
Yeah, everybody walking around with booby traps in their belts. Seems like a good way to become a suicide bomber by accident, but hey, what do I know? Anyway, that's what Madonna wants Sean to help her find.
You're looking for Faraday's Flowers.
Heard of them?
I've also heard of El Dorado and the Lost Dutchman mine. They don't exist either. You're crazy, you know that?
Yeah, all that happened a year ago, and it's already a mythical lost treasure, sure. The first problem is both Sean and Madonna are horribly miscast.
Can we be of any assistance?
Yeah, you got a torpedo handy?
Sean plays this two-fisted, hard-drinking adventurer type, and it doesn't really remind me of Harrison Ford so much. It does remind me he drunkenly used his two fists on Madonna back in the 80s, making this a little hard to watch in hindsight, but you know, hey, whatever. Now, Sean Penn is one of the great living actors, but mostly for his dramatic intensity. Roguish charm is not a card in his deck.
How'd you like to come in the shadows with me and have a peek, baby?
So basically what you get is Sean trying and failing to be Kurt Russell.
Why does everybody get their peckers in a vice when you mention Wu Chen Chu?
Call this movie Big Trouble in Actual China, I guess. But that's nowhere near as bad as casting Madonna as, no joke, a missionary.
You're flippant, facetious, and I suspect sorely lacking in moral fiber.
An uptight, prudish, bleeding heart missionary.
Loan me 10 cents, man, will you? I'm dry as a bone.
Absolutely not. I do not approve of drinking.
To put it lightly, this role is a little beyond Madonna's range. In every scene, she acts like Madonna, she talks like Madonna, and she looks like Madonna. Yeah, I've never seen a missionary wear that much hairspray and makeup, but hey, what do I know?
It's degrading to use your fellow man as a beast of burden.
She is so goddamn bad that I legitimately expected to find out her character was only pretending to be a missionary the whole time. And that's only partly Madonna's fault. I expected to swerve mostly because her motivation makes no goddamn sense.
Mr. Swayze, at this very moment, tens of thousands of courageous soldiers are suffering agonizing pain because of a terrible shortage of morphine.
You got that? She runs a veterans hospital, and she wants to find the opium so that she can use it for medical purposes. I have no idea how scarce morphine was during the Sino-Japanese War, but there had to be an easier way to get it than searching for a mythical lost shipment of illegal drugs. This is like hunting down the Ark of the Covenant because you need a doorstop. And look, it's a shipment of drugs that's probably worth a fortune. You wouldn't think it'd be hard to understand why everyone would be looking at it. But I couldn't make sense of any of the dozens of characters or their motivations. There's a fat guy, a concubine of some sort, a poor man's Peter Lorre.
I mean, who is this guy? What does he want?
That's a good question, Sean. I have no idea. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the Chinese guy from the first scene, who has since become the world's lamest Bond villain, No Hands. No Hands. He's the man who's got giant, stupid porcelain prosthetic hands that look hysterical in every scene. You could at least put some gloves on those things, Jesus. He never uses them to give anyone a nice hard porcelain pimp slap like I expect him to, but he does this. Ow.
That really hurt. I'm gonna have a lump there, you idiot.
Around the midway point, the movie becomes such a colossal clusterfuck that by the end of it, I had no idea what was going on. There's a guy who wants to sell Madonna an insurance policy for her armpits. Seriously? And then he dumps them in a vat of fish. And at some point, it turns out the opium was actually jewels.
I can't believe that Faraday's flowers was merely a bunch of jewels.
Look, don't ask me, I didn't follow this movie at all, so let me just share some of my favorite scenes. They meet this guy who's like this American culture fanboy, like a weeaboo in reverse. So in exchange for some information, Sean Penn offers to teach him a new baseball pitch. Yeah, better than the fastball, the curveball, or the screwball, it's the poorly animated green screen ball. You must teach me your American ways of bad special effects. Or here's this one. Sean Penn wants to bail on the whole stupid operation, so Madonna cleverly finds a way to obligate him to stay.
No, you're not thinking. You're bluffing, Stanley.
I'm merely placing you under the obligation to continue helping me.
Yes, that's right. She's going to get him in the missionary position, so to speak.
I'm obligated.
Oh, to count the ways this does not make sense. Okay, first off, how do you manage to take the sex goddess of my lifetime, give her a love scene with the actual man she loves, and have it be that unhot? That was the most clinically detached striptease I've ever seen. She is still a Christian missionary in the 30s, right? Where the hell did this streak of wanton trollopness come from? I mean, she's not even reluctant about it. She's just like, well, time to take my clothes off. To be fair, they do hint she's got some kind of bad girl past, but it's not like she was faking the uptightness, and she never really defrosts towards him or anything. And for another thing, how is him getting laid gonna make him feel obligated? Maybe she really is new to this sex thing, because as ancient Chinese proverbs say, why buy cow when milk free? Oh, and look how guilt-ridden she is afterwards.
I just blackmailed you shamelessly.
Okay, 1, no you didn't. If that was blackmail, please, extort me for all I'm worth. 2, where the hell is all this regret coming from? It's not like she recklessly jumped into bed with him in a moment of desperation. Or maybe she did, I can't tell because Madonna is such a bad actress. 3, what did you need this guy for again? He's got no noteworthy skills, no inside information, all he's done is drink, scream, and smell bad. I will say this, for as bad as this movie is, it's actually a lot less racist than I feared it'd be. I mean, there are a few questionable characters, some lines of dialogue.
Your twin pagodas, maybe.
Definitely not.
Surely you wish to protect your haven of celestial bliss.
Oh, and there's bad, stereotypical Chinese music everywhere. A lot of it comes from the film's producer and former Beatle George Harrison. George, of course, was famously into Eastern culture, but apparently not that far to the east, because some of the lines in this.
I'm straight to die from the walk to the fire. I like to trust you, but I've broken my nature.
Yeah, pretty much all the music is like that. They're so shameless, they even include a snippet of Chopsticks.
Maybe I can knock it free.
To be clear here, you are not watching an episode of Fraggle Rock. This is an actual A-list theatrical movie.
Why should my jewels be used to buy the opium drug instead of guns?
Guns cause pain. Opium eases pain.
Opium has caused nothing but good in the world! Anyway, it climaxes with all the characters in one spot trying to get the opium. Or the jewels. The launch codes. I don't know, whatever the MacGuffin is right now.
You open it.
Oh, and of course No Hands is smart because he's not going to fall for the old Shanghai Surprise trick again. Except he is.
Come on!
Apparently at some point Sean Penn invented the delayed fuse Shanghai Surprise. They're not going to explain that. And Madonna's boss was Belloc the entire time, and the jewels were fake, but the opium was real. And look, I don't know, the whole thing is a mess. But yeah, they live happily ever after. Or at least they will until Sean loses his goddamn mind. So yeah, that was Shanghai Surprise, and it was terrible. Sean Penn refuses to talk about it to this day, and hasn't tried to make a fun movie ever since. Madonna, meanwhile, learned nothing from the experience and kept trying to act, and we'll get to more of that shortly. But before we go forward, we're going to have to go backwards here. Now, you've seen how bad she is with Hollywood talent and budget behind her. Just imagine how bad the movies were before she had that.
I'm not sure what's in your eyes.